Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new video on the channel by the name of LeaIsChill. As you can see, there's a certain cat here chilling in front of everything, but he is just saying hi as we go ahead and start today's Gacha Tourist. So today we're going to be covering, and they put you down. So today we're going to be covering basically a bunch of different Gacha games that have had little updates, closures, random events that might seem kind of interesting, and we're going to be trying to hype about it as we enjoy what is the live service industry. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, I kind of have my own list of things that I wanted to cover today and my own list of different things I wanted to talk about, but we're just going to go through them one by one and I will chat about them as we go. So the first thing I wanted to discuss today is a kind of interesting thing that's only ever happened with Crunchyroll games in my experience. Crunchyroll Games has released multiple games over time where they'll advertise it super heavily for the first 3 months, and then once 3 months are over, they will just completely drop every aspect of it and basically stop caring. We had a My Hero game that had this happen, but in the most recent year, we had this One Punch Man game that dropped last February in 2024. It got consistent characters and updates for pretty much like 4 months. We got Speed of Sound Sonic, we got Puri Puri Prisoner, and there was a bunch of other ones that happened before this. But once Puri Puri Prisoner came out, the game went into an eternal, exact same update frenzy that was completely unexpected. And ever since then, all they've posted on their Twitter, after having one of the busiest social media accounts in pretty much recent history, they were replying to people, they were constantly on the forums and stuff. They just disappeared completely. And you can only see on their Twitter now announcements of the maintenance once a week, if not less. And it's really, really strange to me. I went into the comments here. Sorry. Okay, kitty, you gotta go. He's trying to attack my mouse on the screen. I went and looked at the comments and some of these threads, and they seem to have announced that there's going to be some kind of big update as of January. It was really odd because they were kind of making this promise over on the C version, the Southeast Asia version, and there's just been absolute radio silence. And if we actually go to My Hero Strongest Hero, the other game by Crunchyroll, not only has this game been in this purgatory for at least 2 years at this point, similar to One Punch Man World, but as of the last few updates since this April, they've removed the purple ticket banner. So think of it like this. In Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact, you have 2 different styles of tickets. You have the blue tickets / the premium tickets, which will give you the main banner, and there will be no limited characters added to the main banner ever. And so the main banner, the premium banner, is exclusively for the starter SSRs that started when the game dropped. The starter 5 stars inside Genshin and Honkai's case. This game has 2 different styles, blue tickets and purple tickets. And they've removed all limited characters having reruns from it. And so now if you were to start this game as of today, you could never get Dabi. You could never get Toga. I guess, no, because Toga is actually just a card. She wasn't even an actual character. You could never get Mirio, Sun Eater, Najire. Like, every one of these characters that was limited at one point is completely impossible to pull because they only have a premium banner now. And I haven't personally touched One Punch Man World. I played like 2 hours when it first dropped and I was like, this is literally My Hero Strongest Hero, and they are going to like forget about this game in no time. And guess what? I was fucking right. They completely neglected this thing, and it's now just become a blight to see post the maintenance every 2 weeks and have nothing else to say. And so if they do put out an update as of the next couple of weeks, I do plan on covering it here, because it is just a fascinating case to me. I don't know if they're just trying to not make money, if they just think that having these games up is enough to satisfy the customer base, or what, but it is just horseshit. And because of these particular 2 games, and the fact that Princess Connect lasted less than a year under Crunchyroll Games ownership, and then closed, I would say this company is not worth trusting whatsoever. And that's gonna blacklist me from somewhere, but legitimately, they have had such a bad track record. And they're probably in my top 3 companies that are the worst at publishing these games. And that is shameful, because that is in line with like Nebula Joy and fucking Game Samba. So that is a bad list to be on. But hey, if they end up updating this, we'll chat about it, because that is wild. And hey, that just exists out there. A couple other games I want to talk about. I just have this. I found this kind of interesting. So Nier Reincarnation was a mobile game that was around for about 2 years, and it was entirely focused on its story content. So once they finished doing the main story and they stopped releasing new content for it, the game died within about 3 or 4 months of that ending. And so now that it's closed, there is no possible way to play through that story over again. And so here, if you go to, as you can see on the top here, Nier Rein, so that's NIERREIN.com, you can find the entire story of Nier Reincarnation and play through it as a text-based RPG where you can also hit the music and listen to it while you go. And so if you were interested in trying to experience the whole Nier Reincarnation story, if you're personally a Nier fan in some kind of way, I think that this is an excellent way to go ahead and check it out. And because there is no current way they're going to be re-releasing Nier Reincarnation or any of these gacha games that close, this is going to remain the best way to experience it for right now. And so if you are curious and you're the kind of person who just does want to tune into stuff like this, check out NierRein.com, because that is going to be the only way to experience Nier Reincarnation as it currently is. And that's how it goes. But hey, definitely give it a shot. I probably will end up going through it at some point, because I didn't actually get the chance to play through the whole story back then. Next on up, I want to talk about Tokyo Ghoul Break the Chains. Obviously, we've kind of been neglecting this game. If you don't know the story around it, there was previously a company by the name of Game Samba who made Tokyo Ghoul Dark War back in the past and was involved on the project for Tokyo Ghoul Break the Chains alongside Komoe Tecmo, a pretty big publisher alongside Bandai Namco Games. When they made this game, it was out for about 6 months, and they basically released 6 characters total, and then the game closed, and they took the money and ran. The game then was immediately re-released with the Game Samba logo on the furthest possible point at the lowest possible spot with a new company by the name of Funcat Games, and they re-released the game and started to just kind of recycle all the old content and sell it all over again. And so I didn't want to touch this game whatsoever, because I think that practice and closing the game to reopen it immediately afterwards is one of the scummiest things you can do inside this industry. And I wasn't going to talk about it whatsoever or play it whatsoever, but I actually found it kind of curious that they are adding new characters. So this Yomo with the mask is brand new. We also have, let's see if I can find them here. They added a Kaneki with the Aogiri suit. They added a Christmas Kaneki and the Christmas Hinami, as well as, I believe, a Kakuja Kaneki, so like the centipede version, as a playable unit. So they have been legitimately updating it with new characters since. That's at least 4 new characters since the game got re-released. And I find that to be pretty cool. I definitely expected this to come out and to end up having absolutely no new characters that weren't inside the old version. So I do gotta give at least a little bit of kudos to Break the Chains for them deciding to actually put development time into the game and not just recycling everything that was there before and letting it sit forever. However, there is one thing I want to critique. So, Kevin's been posting a couple of these, but if you scroll Instagram and you are in the like seinen manga space, like it just kind of pops up on your timeline, you will be getting ads like this constantly. And it might be some of the biggest cringe I've seen.
Sorry we're late. Download the game now and get 2,000 free draws. Not enough. We need more. We'll throw in a full star Rize as well.
Yep.
Still not enough. And a free monthly card on top. Not enough yet. We're giving you an iPhone 16 Pro, a PS5, limited edition figurines, and Apple AirPods Max. Please stop hitting.
That's not even AirPods.
No Toka Karishima lock in.
Okay, so this is absolute like cringe shit, right? And they have made at least 10 to 20 different versions of these style of ads. I've seen ones that are like, you can win a PS5 if you install this game and you'll just be entered. I've seen them post about the iPhone 16 Pro. The AirPods Max is like not even the right image for this. What this feels like is Game Samba sold the game to a Saudi prince, is the joke I make. But it seems to be someone in the Southeast Asia region, and they're just trying to use the exact same tactics as every other generic shitty gacha game. And I don't think Tokyo Ghoul fans are into it whatsoever. I've also found out that it is just like super expensive to get any limited character. It is 60,000 gems to guarantee a single copy of any limited character released on a carnival. And so they released Kaneki Centipede here, and he was 60,000 gems for a guaranteed copy, or a 0.2% rate. That is equivalent to you throwing like over 1,000 darts at a board and having like a super low chance of hitting it. And that's like an awful example, but you know exactly what I mean. It is just weird and scummy, and I still don't want to support these practices whatsoever. Like, they're just perverting it in such a weird way. You can win a trip to Japan! Whoa! Crazy! It's just absurd. And I can't believe that Tokyo Ghoul now has this as the main advertisements.
Stop. It's packed with big shots inside. All with power.
It's just so weird and cringy. His name is P. Poggy. And wait, ready?
In just 10 minutes. How did you reach
5 billion power?
5 billion power?
Because I am awakened.
Because I am awakened. Ah! It is melting my brain. Tokyo Ghoul Break the Chains is just in a really weird state. I don't give a shit about this game. It's cool they're actually like pushing more characters out. I do respect that. But at the same time, this is how they've learned to sell themselves in an industry of which this actually does work on people that are like early teens or absolute kids, which they've probably realized are the best people to sell to. And so that's the only reason that they're doing it like this. And I'm just praying right now that either we get another Tokyo Ghoul game at some point, or this game dies already so I can stop seeing the cringe. Because it is weird and surreal, and I am pretty much done talking about it. I don't even think if they release more characters, I'm going to talk about it in the future either. It's just what it is. Moving on. I wanted to talk about this. So One Piece Bounty Rush is a gacha game that is a 4v4 entirely multiplayer game that has been around for about 6 years now. And they never or they have never had a single in-person event since the release of the game. But this year they were going to have an official US player gathering in LA. And because of the fires that have happened recently over there, they unfortunately had to cancel the first ever event they had scheduled for the game itself. And honestly, I respect the fact that they were actually vocal about this and were kind of talking actively with the community, saying that it was going to be canceled and stuff. But it sucks that after all this time and they finally got the budget to be able to host something in person, it got canceled because of these wildfires. And my prayers honestly do go out to everyone over in LA. I've seen a lot of the stuff that's going on. I've seen stories of people coming back to their houses and it's just a chimney and the rest of their entire house is just gone and there's no foundation. And it just seems absolutely awful. I really do pray for the people that are there that they can end up rebuilding something for themselves and end up finding a little bit of solace in that. But obviously that is aside from the main point that I'm making. I hope that everyone is safe there and okay. I'm glad they ended up saying this early so that they could tell their audience, because you can see it's 11 days in advance of the actual event itself, that it wasn't going to be happening. And all the prayers go out to the people who are actually involved in the fires themselves. It's just, I hope that they end up trying to run back this US player gathering thing. Because if I could end up going there at some point, and it happens at the perfect time that I can actually get to LA, I would love to attend something like this, because it is one of those celebrations of gacha games that actually shows there is a community around these things, and that's important to me. So, respect to them for every part of their handling with this, and fingers crossed they can actually end up hosting something in the future, because it actually is something substantial. And yeah. Next up, I didn't actually get the chance to talk about this game, but it's kind of weird. So this is a game called Isekai x Isekai. It is going to be a crossover game that has, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different franchises inside it. And they're going to be slowly dripping out characters from every one of the 9 series to be able to sell. And I think that the ones on the left, the main 5 that you see, or sorry, main 4 that you see on the left are going to be the ones that are the biggest sellers. Mushoku Tensei, Isekai Slime. Sword Art Online is like a weird one. I would not consider that an isekai, but I guess that's kind of how they sold themselves. Shangri-La Frontier, I think, is a lot more akin to an isekai than even Sword Art Online is, because it is a lot more immersive. And those 4 are pretty much going to carry this game. But I found it really interesting. You can see the Steam logo on this. As of its release, they're going to be dropping this game both on Google Play and on the Steam store for you to be able to check it out. And so this is going to be a pretty big release, I feel like. It drops pretty much in 3 days from then this is going to be uploaded. And I'm going to try it out for myself to see how high quality it is. I don't know if I'll put a lot of time into it, because I just don't see it having a lot of longevity in that way unless it is really well built. But I'm curious enough where I want to give it a little bit of time and see what they've built here. But yeah, Isekai x Isekai dropping in 3 days on January the 27th, 2025. And it actually has, because I love Mushoku Tensei myself. Shangri-La Frontier, I watched the whole first season, had a lot of fun with that. And so I do have intrigue around it. And so let me know if you're going to play this game, because I feel like it's for a very small and specific group of people. But the people who do enjoy the isekai genre are probably going to be pretty into it if it plays well. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Next up, we're going to be looking at the only 2 screenshots that have come out regarding the Punishing Gray Raven and Devil May Cry 5 collab. So this was announced for the Chinese version of Punishing Gray Raven, and so it should be released pretty much like 6 months to a year from now on the global version. And so obviously I did like the Black Rock shooter collab on Punishing Gray Raven recently on the channel. And it was an excellent collab story. They did a really good job actually writing around the characters and stuff. And so I have a lot of faith in this, that when they drop it on global, it's actually going to be pretty well written and pretty fun. I love Devil May Cry 5. That is one of my favorite games that I have played. And so I am excited to see what they're going to do with dropping both old Dante and Virgil here. And obviously, people are already comparing the Punishing Gray Raven girl here to Virgil. So it's going to be a hell of a combo. I wonder if they're going to have Alpha, who's the girl, as the main collab story person, because that's how it was for Black Rock Shooter. I wonder if they're just going to do the same thing again, because she's like the new main character pretty much, but we'll find out. Regardless, I'm excited for this. I think that they look really good in the Punishing Gray Raven style, and they actually stylized it really well, considering obviously RE Engine is like hyper realistic, and you could see every hair follicle on the beard of Dante inside that. Here, they don't really have that, and so they had to actually like put a lot of work in, and I think they cooked. And that's gonna be Punishing Gray Raven soon. Here, I want to talk about this as like the second last thing today. So Alchemy Stars end up closing as of today. This game's been around for about 4 years. I think it celebrated its 4th anniversary at some point last year. Unfortunately, it was hit with the... I can't even click on the joke right now, but there's a joke in which if Persona 5 collabs with your game will die. That is like the main joke. It has been prevalent through a bunch of different things. And this game, sure enough, that was my Facebook. Oopsie. Sure enough, this game got hit by that same curse, but it's one of the first Tencent proprietary games that came out that actually closed down. Because I went and looked at the list of different games that are like directly from Tencent themselves, and a lot of their mobile games just kind of go forever. Especially stuff like the Saint Seiya game here, Tower of Fantasy is still up. If I look further up here, the Naruto mobile game, Honor of Kings, stuff like that, PUBG, they all just kind of live forever. And so this is one of the first big closures that I've seen from the actual direct Tencent folks. And it's curious to me. I just wonder what didn't work about this game. Personally, I'm not much into tactile RPGs, and so stuff like Fire Emblem Heroes and stuff just wasn't really in my wheelhouse a lot of the time. But I felt like this game was pretty popular with a lot of the community that I've seen play it. And so it sucks to see another one end up dying. Luckily, they have confirmed they're going to be dropping a offline version of it, and so +1 for them. I'm always saying this. They should always be dropping an offline version of a game alongside the closure so that there's something to celebrate, because there was a lot of people who loved this as it was around. I may not be in that wheelhouse, I may not be the person that actually is in love with it, but I am glad that there's a celebration of it when it closes so that someone can actually show it to someone they care about later on. And I looked at Naruto Mobile while I was there, and I was like, ooh, cool, this game is still kicking. I haven't played it in a long time, but this is like the old Chinese mobile game. It's cool. And the final thing I want to talk about today isn't even a gacha game. This is a pretty interesting little article I found online, where as of this week, the Video Game History Foundation is going to be making its digital library available to the public. This means that every single one of the old Game Informers, all of the old official PlayStation magazines, all of the old Nintendo Powers and stuff that they've kind of put together from back in the day are going to be released, and you'll be able to check them directly by date to check out how people were hyping up games that were coming out back in stuff like 2006. And so I think it's gonna be really exciting to be able to look back at this history that doesn't really exist anymore regarding these magazines that are completely out of print now. And I'm gonna be keeping an eye on this because personally, I grew up ordering the monthly Shonen Jump here in Canada every single month, and I was so excited to see the next chapter of like the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX manga that was about to come out. And alongside that, I just had a lot of fun with it. But I never got the chance to subscribe to stuff like Nintendo Power or the PlayStation Magazine or anything like that because they just weren't available in Canada. Like I would have probably if there was a service for it, but only Shonen Jump was around here in Canada. And so I'm going to be able to go through the history of all of these, and if I have a game I want to play from back in 2006, let's say I want to check out the Nintendo Power talking about Bleach Shattered Blade, a random Wii game from back then. I'm going to be able to pull up the articles, seeing some random white guy talk about what Bleach Shattered Blade means to him from those old Nintendo Powers, and it just sounds really fun to me. And so I'm going to be checking this out. I'm going to be using this in the future just to feel excited about the old games that are around and see people talk about them. And hopefully you guys are interested as well in this little project that they're doing, because I really do respect it. And it's kind of keeping history alive, you know? It's just 1,500 out of print magazines and being able to look back at this history and really celebrate what it once was. I think it's important, and it means a lot to me. Hope that you guys kind of feel the same. And honestly, that's all I wanted to talk about for today. Not really a long one today. I kind of had a little bit of touch on from last week and this week, but I feel like there's a lot to celebrate regarding these games, and I really do have a lot of passion for the things that will only exist right now. And so stuff like Isekai x Isekai, that game is going to die in like 2 years. And so to be able to look at it from an objective standpoint and celebrate what they are doing here before it does close that day, I think is really fun. And if you think the same, hit that like button, and we will be back very soon, hopefully next week, to celebrate more of these games and have some fun with it. For now, thanks for watching, take it easy, and bye for now. Bye-bye.